Our next guest is Darren Moore, who is at Piety Hill, which is the center of the universe for conservatives, people who fall in the category of, I would like to just say literate Westerners. Russell Kirk was my professor in 1973 at Central Michigan University, where I was majoring in journalism. The reason I signed up for his class is because he had a nationally syndicated column that went to over 150 newspapers, and he had been writing the paper for 20-plus years. That was the main attraction for me. I thought, geez, oh, Pete, that's pretty significant, nationally syndicated for all those years. So I took the class and then became fast friends with Russell and especially his wife, Annette, who is living. Russell died in 1994, and Annette carries on Russell's tradition, his heritage, I guess we could say, and she sponsors annual retreats for certain organizations, and these are scholars who come up and revel in all things conservative. If any of you really want an introduction to a world you may not have known, Google Russell Kirk and look for the Russell Kirk Center. Russell wrote 26 books or so. So Darren is up there at Piety Hill with a whole pile of folks from the New Centurion program. Darren, tell me what it's like.
Well, it's great to be back on Piety Hill here with the Kirk family, and this is always a really special time to come up to Mecosta, Michigan, and to actually I'm sitting right now, Jay, in front of the typewriter on which Dr. Kirk wrote The Conservative Mind in his library, where he worked from 1954 to his death in 1994. So you can imagine for a contemplative, imaginative conservative like myself, it is a dream come true to sit here in the presence of greatness.
And The Conservative Mind, for those who are unaware of it, Russell wrote that book in 1953. It got a 13-page review in Time magazine and basically established the phrase conservative as the label that would be used for people who were not in favor of big government or who were not liberal. Before that, there was not really a label that was widely accepted. So he really was the founder of the phrase conservative for the movement. And so what's happening up there? You've brought up a bunch of people who are hearing lectures?
Yep, that's right. We're fortunate today to be hearing lectures from two really great minds. One is Michigan's own Dr. Bradberger, who holds the Russell Kirk Chair at Hillsdale College, who will be speaking. His lecture is going to be on one of Russell's books, The Roots of American Order, which really traces the whole cultural traditions of America, back from Philadelphia through London, through Rome, Greece, and then all the way back to the Hebrews, and shows and really stitches together how it is that the American idea really isn't American, but rather it was taken from the best of our traditions in this whole 2,800-year history.
Awesome. So then who else talks?
And then we also have Dr. Richard Brake from Intercollegiate Studies Institute, who is a Weaver scholar, who, as you know, Jay, is one of my other favorite authors. Richard M. Weaver wrote a wonderful book that everybody should read. It's called Ideas Have Consequences, and it's just a short little book, but it really will change the mind. They say about Richard Weaver that actually, Russell wrote in his as an introduction in one of his books that Gregory the Great said that God is not happy when people find salvation through logic, but Richard M. Weaver was the type of person who saved a lot of people and helped a lot of people find salvation through the power of his high mind. Yeah, awesome. Weaver is one of the greats. So who's there? They're with you. You have a group who've come up to... Yeah, we have... it's an interesting mix today. Rather than just being graduates of the Centurion program, we have some emerging leaders from the Tea Party, as well as both my state rep, Patrick Somerville, as well as my state senator, Patrick Colbeck, are both here. Both of these men have been steeped in this great conservative tradition. That's one of the things that Russell talked so much about during his life was how our education system, because of the Deweyites coming in, John Dewey, the first of the American educationists, and really turned our education system inside out. And so a lot of us, we find, and that's the whole was the whole genesis, really, of the idea of the New Centurion program, is that a lot of us, we get to the age of 35 to 40, and we realize, hey, we got gypped out of that liberal education. Yeah. And so in a lot of ways, what we do is we go back and recover that.
I was talking to Annette. She made an interesting observation. She said that the Tea Parties represent the same kind of spirit of the revolution, but the revolution succeeded only because the people like Jefferson, Ben Franklin, Thomas Adams, and the rest, or John Adams, and the rest had the classical education where they understood the roots of American order, say, going, as you said, going back to the Greeks, the Romans, and England. So this is what these people are going to McCoss and basically learning more about these roots. And all literate Americans should be doing this stuff, trying to figure out what is at the foundation of what makes America great.
Yep, you're absolutely right. As Irving Babbitt wrote, the end of liberal education is the disciplining of the minds. And the method of study is, to quote Irving Babbitt, that unbroken chain of literary and intellectual tradition which extends from the ancient to the modern world, that whole spectrum of the great chain of being, to talk about those permanent questions, that great conversation. That used to be the liberal education that would really well-round a man, that would give him that inner order and give him that understanding of integrating all of that knowledge for the benefit of a free person. It used to be the whole point behind liberal education was the disciplining of free minds, and now it has become the indoctrination of servile minds.
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of us who want to be more politically astute should be reading the great stuff from the giants of old. Darren, the clock just keeps ticking, and suddenly we've got less than, I think, 40 seconds. So it's been great having you on again. Be sure to tell Annette and everyone else up there that I would want to get back up there and say hello to everybody. And we're going to be talking about all this stuff again soon. This is Jay McNally on The American Dream on WHAM 1600. Be sure to tune in next week, and we're going to have a lot more fascinating stuff to talk about. Thanks for tuning in.